What is up, Sheepdog Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Sheepdog Nation podcast with your host, me, Autumn Schmidt. Today's topic is going to be how to prevent injury while you are on the job. I want you to know that today's show is brought to you by the Sheepdog Family. If you don't even know what that is, go click the link below. In the show notes, it is my exclusive Leo only private group, and it is taking off. We have officers that are getting promoted. They are leaving agencies, going to their dream agencies. We have officers who are struggling in relationships, on the brink of divorce, now happily working on their marriage. We have officers who were on FTO, hating their jobs, hating the whole FTO experience, now full on embracing it. We've had a lot of really good positives. And so if you are interested in being around a positive group of law enforcement officers who are always there and willing to help you, then absolutely click the link, DM me on Instagram, whatever you need to do, just come and join us. Okay. So today's episode, like I said, we're going to dive right on into it, is how to prevent injury on the job. And the first thing is this: if you're a first responder, if you're a cop, it's going to happen. You're going to do something. It could even be you sprain a freaking ankle, you pull a hammy when you're, in a foot pursuit. It could be any one of those things. I mean, things just happen. Or it could be like me. I had a career-ending injury in my back. So it can be all these things. Here's the thing, okay, is that there's some things that we can be doing that we don't always think about. And so you are here with me because I'm going to, shed some light on some things, things that I wished that I would have done differently. Okay. First off, every one of you need to be stretching. Every single police officer, we all carry 10 to 20 pounds of excess weight on us all the time. Okay. It is very hard on our body. That is very hard on our muscles, especially day in and day out. Now, you don't feel it because your body adapts to it, right? But you may not feel it the first 3 to 5 years, but I promise you, after year 5, you're going to start to feel a little something. And my biggest piece of advice, you guys, is never, ever just push away or dismiss that little something. Okay. And we're going to talk about that, but stretching. So listen, I know it's not what you want to hear. You want to hear, go kick down the doors, and you want to hear, the badass stuff, right? But the truth is you need to stretch, and you need to do it daily, and it needs to become a practice for you. Especially, I do it twice a day. Looking back, I wish I would have done it more. I love to work out. So, I work out anywhere between 4 to 7 days a week. It kind of depends. And especially when I was on the job, it was 6 days a week. And that was just the way that it was. And so I would stretch a little bit, but I wasn't stretching because I wanted my body to feel good on duty. I was stretching because I had just got done working out, or I was about to go work out. And so my mindset was a little bit different. But you want to be stretching before you get your Batman suit on. You know what I'm saying? Before you put the cape on and the vest and the belt and the boots and every other thing that you're going to be putting on, you want to stretch. You have to understand, like, you're very constricted. It is very constricted. Listen, even for my detectives, I know you wear civvies and just a gun belt, like gun on your belt. Some of you have handcuff on you, an extra set of mags, but all of that matters because it offsets your body. Okay. And so you want to be stretching, you want to be in the best shape possible, but you want to give your body the best chance it has possible to heal itself and to find alignment and balance on its own. I can tell you that the uniform doesn't exactly do that. So it's really important that we, take the time to do that. So stretching is huge. You can go do yoga. They have so many different forms of yoga. Sheepdogs. They even have this thing called goat yoga. So if you're a big animal lover, you can even go do yoga with goats. I've done yoga. I did yoga for like, I'd say about a year, and I really loved it. I loved the body and mind connection. I loved, having a class to go, and it definitely helped me. However, I didn't get to going and doing yoga until after my injury. So I definitely regret that. And I highly suggest every first responder get their asses into some sort of yoga, because it's the mind body connection that's going to be extremely useful for you. So stretching, you can do yoga, you can go right online. I think I've talked to you about it before, but right on YouTube, you can do yoga with Adrienne, like in like 10 to 15 minute increments. Seriously, it's free. She's cool. I like her. She has a massive YouTube channel. She's got a very big following. A lot of people follow her. And I do yoga with Adrienne on my own. She's cool. You can even just stretch straight up, but just take 10 minutes and just stretch. Not a big deal. Stretch in your bed, stretch, before you wake up, before you get out of your bed, or, stretch in the locker room for a minute, before you get out all your gear on. I cannot say enough how much stretching, really, really is so big for us cops. The next thing is hydration. Now, listen, there's nothing more annoying than being in your uniform and having to piss every fucking 20 minutes. I get that. But here's the deal. Figure it out and hydrate. That's all I've got to say. Like, you can come up with a ton of excuses if you want to, but you need to understand, like, we are so stressed out. We carry so much stress, whether you realize it or if it's accumulative. We carry stress. The food sometimes that we eat isn't that good for us. We get headaches, we get heartburn, we get stomach aches, we get constipated. I know, some officers have talked about like having like massive diarrhea due to their nerves, all of these things. And we need, we can't, sometimes it's really hard to avoid all that shit, right? Like literally. But what's not hard for us to avoid is being hydrated. The fact that we need to be hydrated. We need that. So I'm not going to sit here and be like a health nut and be like, you must have 1 gallon of water a day. I'm not going to tell you that. But here's what I am going to say. You need to drink a lot of water. Some studies show half of your body weight in ounces at least. They say that's a really good way to go. A gallon is a good way to go. Whatever you need to do, but you need to be drinking it. And it doesn't always have to be just when you're on duty, but you need to be prepared. And like, you got to kind of think of like the job. You got to look at it like this. Because you want to be in the absolute best shape, best condition you possibly could be for this job, no matter where you are in your career. You want to be sharp. Your mind needs to be sharp. Your body needs to be limber. Your body needs to be sharp. Like you everything needs to be on point. And so you definitely want to be focusing on how to make your body feel better while you're on duty. And like, even when you're off duty, like this isn't going just for on duty, obviously. Even when you're off duty, because it's just going to help you. It's that balance. Those are just a few things. Like, I wish somebody would have told me that. And like, somebody who had been like a police officer who had been injured, I wish they would have told me that. I wish they would have told me that I need to focus on my core. Here's a little piece of advice, okay? And again, I'm not a doctor. I want you to know that. I should say that. Obviously, you guys know that. But I'm also not like this health. I'm not go onto my Instagram. You can see I am not a big health nut. I love to work out and I love to eat food equally as much. So I run so that I can eat food. That is my life. And you know what? I'm perfectly fucking okay with that, because I can run and I can work out, but I will eat all the cookies, maybe the whole bag of them, like whatever. Okay. So anyways, getting back on track is your core. So here's the deal. So with me, my injury stemmed from my core, which your core is much more than just your abs. Your core is actually your back as well. Your middle to lower back on both sides. Nobody ever really told me that I should be focusing on that. And as a cop, here's the deal, okay? And I want you to be thinking about this. So I'm doing it because I talk with my hands. So I'm literally doing it. as I'm speaking this out to you, even though you can't see it. As a police officer, we drive, right? And then what do? We look at our computer, and our computer is always to our right, isn't it? So your hips are facing forward, but your front, your from your hip, your waist up, be facing towards the right, but your hips are facing forward. So essentially, what that can do is cause herniations in your back if your core is not tight. If you are not strengthening your core every single day, the back and the front, if you're not focused on holding your core tight when you do different things, my doctor told me that that was detrimental to my injury, to be honest. And that like he was very like, with the amount of weight on my duty belt and on my vest, and plus this turning and typing my reports and getting on the computer, he's like, that twisting is awful, just absolutely awful. Like, you're not supposed to do that over and over and over and over again for long periods of time. How many times do we do that? We do it all the time. So core strength, huge. Stretch it and planks. My PT, my physical therapist, he made me do planks all the time. And I'll tell you, and this goes against everything, but so don't stop because you need to pass PT tests. But he definitely advised against sit-ups and always with crunches. And we did a lot of like standing exercises with my core as well. So just understand there's a lot of different core exercises for you, but be doing them and not necessarily the sit-ups, okay? Because we want your back to be just as strong as your abs, because your core is what's going to keep you, it's going to keep you situated. And trust me, trust a sister when she tells you, you definitely want a strong core because life fucking sucks without it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Make sure you are working out. You know that. I'm not going to harp on you too much, but here, like, you just heard me say this. Like, I run so I can eat. Okay. That was the same way. I was the same way the whole way through the academy, whole way through my career. You'd never look at me and say I was fat. But I did what I did because I enjoy eating. So if you're like me and you enjoy eating, that's fine. But work out. And I'm going to just say this. I'm not going to tell you what kind of workouts you should be doing, but I will tell you from an injury, somebody who's been injured, who has been having several consultations with several PTs and doctors and stuff on my journey to try to heal my back without surgery. Is, you want to try to do whatever your workouts are, try to focus them around the job. And that's why so many cops like CrossFit, because, you got to be thinking about whatever it is that you're going to be doing. You want to get your body in shape to do that. So you don't want to go out there and just start dragging, 200-pound dummies and think you're going to be able to do that. You're probably not, but, you want to work up to that, and you want to work, on sprinting and getting your body prepared to do all of the things that you're going to do on the job. Again, we can't prepare for everything, but you want to be versatile in your workouts, but you also want to be consistent. And I'm just telling you that that was one of the things that saved me from not being even worse off. My doctor told me was the fact that I, was in such good shape. And that I have built a lot of muscle around my core and my back. So while it definitely needed to be much more stronger, it was already kind of strong too, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely saved me. So a couple of some unconventional things that I just want to talk about is your stress, managing stress. Okay. The reason why I'm telling you to manage stress is because, when you're stressed out, I want you to think about your body. What does your body feel like when you're stressed out? Doesn't it feel tense and tight and uptight, and you don't breathe in your stomach? You're only breathing in your chest. And don't you sometimes get so stressed out you get headaches like all the time? And sometimes like your throat will even tighten, like when that's kind of moving into anxiety. But stress puts a lot of tension on your body. You're uptight, you're rigid. You're not loose, you're not going with the flow, you're not just hanging out, okay? And And that's a problem. And that's not how your body was built. It wasn't made to operate in like that. So you want to be managing your stress. Just understand, I'm not sitting here going, Sheepdog, you should not be stressed out. No, quite the opposite. Like, I know you're going to be stressed out. Let's be real. So the reality is that you need to be finding ways to manage your stress and to balance it, and to not let it consume you, and not let it, be a detriment to your health and to your job. If you need help with that, that's when you come into the Sheepdog Family group. That is my specialty. And there's going to be more information on that coming up soon if you're interested in that, but definitely join us in the group. So stress management. So what can you do to manage your stress? Well, there's so many different things. Okay. So we have our working out consistently, staying hydrated, eating decent. You want to eat a little decent. I know that when I can cut out some of my sugar intake and stuff, like, I always feel better. I'm a big, I like ice cream. So, like, I don't ever cut out all my sugar, but when I cut down on it significantly, I definitely feel like I'm less anxious. Getting venting, whether it's, you're in a group like mine, the Leo only group, my Sheepdog family, whether you have somebody to talk to, whether you journal, whether you literally just like talk to yourself in the shower and like get it all off of your chest, vent, get the shit off your chest. Don't carry around everything. Go and see a chiropractor. Huge. This is so big. Getting your body aligned and preventative, chiropractic work. Huge. Going and getting acupuncture. Massive. This was a turning point in my career, in my life. When I committed to going and getting acupuncture 3 times a week. And I'm going to tell you something that changed me. That happened prior to my injury. I had major, major constipation issues due to stress, like major. And listen, it was nothing that my fucking entire shift didn't know about. And, that like female cop life, because, we sometimes or all the time tell you boys a little TMI, you know what I'm saying? um, anyways, I had to go to acupuncture, and it helped me so much because I was so stressed out. I was literally a stress ball, literally. And that's what my intestines and my colon was doing, like balling up. And acupuncture helped me a ton. Getting a massage. Luckily for me, my mother's a massage therapist, so like it didn't cost me anything. But a lot of your insurances, what you don't know, a lot of your insurances will pay for it. And you want to go see what your agency will pay for. A lot of agencies have wellness programs. Go and take advantage of them, because you could get some big discounts, but that stuff, the chiropractic care, which is covered. And if you find a good one, like a lot of times they'll work with you on the copays. They'll work with you on whether it goes under chiropractic care or PT. You can really find ways around like the system. So definitely look into it. Getting your massages, spending time outdoors, doing things, finding yourself like in your doing shit that for you that you like. Read some good books, listen to some good audios, binge some good podcasts, like this one. Do the things that you can balance your stress with. Huge. I just think that you can't prevent everything. And I'm going to just say that. Like, I can't come here and say, Sheepdog, if you listen to me and you take all these like steps and shit like that, like you're going to not get injured. No, that's false. You can get injured anytime, anywhere. You never know. But if you do these things, they're a little bit, unconventional, but if you can do these things, you're going to be set up. You're going to be set up for more success than you would be if you didn't prepare like this, and if you didn't stretch and you didn't work out and train your core specifically, and you weren't focused on de-stressing, and you weren't working on your breathing and doing yoga and different things like that. That's the stuff that's going to help you, and of course, keep up with your training. Keep up doing, do your firearms training, do your defensive tactics, do all your officer safety trainings, like train, stretch, work your core, manage your stress. And and go see your chiropractor or go get some acupuncture. You know what I'm saying? You got to do all of the things. It's not just one thing. There's no one thing that would have prevented me from getting injured, but I can tell you that if I wish I would have done more of the things that I'm sharing with you, and I might not be in such a bad spot. Like so my back injury happened in 2016 and it's 2019 and I'm still I can't go do all of the things that I used to be able to do. And the truth is they don't know what the fuck's going on. My doctor thought I'd be fully healed a long time ago, and I'm not. So, I mean, that's the truth. That's the reality of things. And so you kind of have to take things into your own hands, right? And so do the things I'm telling you, do them now. Do not wait. I'm urging you, do not wait. Stretch in if you don't have any other time because you got kids and all this stuff, like stretch in the locker room, stretch, take 5 minutes on your shift, get the hell out of your cruiser and just stretch, in a place that you're safe, just stretch a minute. Like I used to do it all the time, but that was because my back was already hurting me. And so I started stretching like while I was on duty, but that was a little bit late. But yeah, if you guys have questions at all, let me know. This was a very informative episode. You can come on and hang out with me on Instagram at @TheLadySheepdog. You can let me know if you like this episode, and I will see y'all next time.
And that was another episode of Sheepdog Nation. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go to iTunes and let us know by giving us a rating. If you have questions that you want answered by Autumn in the podcast, submit it by going to the link in the show notes. As always, stay safe and watch your six.